Before we start with the midgut, I think the students will be now just recalling the gut develops from the indrawn part of the yolk sac during the foldings of the embryo. Then this gut is divided into foregut, midgut, and hindgut. In the last class, we have seen already the foregut derivatives and we have completed. Now we will start with the midgut and its important topic, the midgut rotation. The midgut in the beginning stage extends as a straight tube from the anterior to the posterior intestinal portal. In the last class, we have reviewed anterior intestinal portal is the junction of the foregut and the midgut, and the posterior intestinal portal is the junction of the midgut and the hindgut. What are the derivatives of the midgut? The derivatives of the midgut, starting from the duodenum, the remaining parts of the small intestine, and the cecum, appendix, ascending colon, and right 2/3 of the transverse colon. To remember this, the superior mesenteric artery will be supplying the midgut derivatives. If you remember the parts of the gut supplied by the superior mesenteric artery, that will be the midgut derivatives. So what is this rotation of the midgut? The interesting topic. First it is straight tubes, just now we told. Now it is elongating into the ventral U-shaped form of the gut, so that it will be called as the midgut loop. So the straight tube has now become U-shape, and in this apex of the U-shape, patello-intestinal duct is attached, and this superior mesenteric artery runs in this loop through the dorsal mesentery. In this picture you can see the midgut has turned into a U-shaped loop, and the vitellointestinal duct is attached to the apex, and the superior mesenteric artery is running in the dorsal mesentery, so that this midgut will be divided into two parts, pre-arterial segment and the post-arterial segment. So the cephalic limb will be called as the pre-arterial segment, and the caudal limb will be called as the post-arterial segment. From the post-arterial segment, a cecal diverticulum develops. So again, this midgut may be divided into pre-cecal segment or post-cecal segment. So this is how the cecal bud develops in the post-arterial segment. So up to this may be called as the pre-cecal segment. The remaining part of the post-arterial segment will be called as the post-arterial segment. This rotation occurs in the beginning of the development of the midgut. So before this rotation occurs, we have to know one important event of this development of the midgut. The midgut is herniating into the extra embryonic part of the coelomic cavity, otherwise comes out of this coelomic cavity to stay outside for some time, and it is called as the physiological umbilical hernia. This happens from the 5th week to the 10th week. Why this happens? The reason may be the growing liver and the mesonephric kidneys are occupying the coelomic cavity to the large extent. This intestinal loop is not finding its place, so it herniates outside to stay for some time from 5th week to the 10th week. This is how the U-shaped midgut loop, which is pressed by the liver, comes out of the coelomic cavity to lie in the extra embryonic part of the coelomic cavity. When this midgut is lying outside, it starts rotating. How this rotation starts, the reason may be the the downward pressure by the caudal edge of the right lobe of the liver, so that the cephalic limb rotates downwards and to the right, caudal limb rotates upwards and to the left. This cranial limb grows rapidly, that will be forming mainly the small intestinal loops. The caudal limb is not undergoing much development in this physiological umbilical hernia stage, so that except the development of the cecal diverticulum. So during the first stage, the midgut rotation has happened around 90 degrees around the axis of the superior mesenteric artery. When you view it from the front, the rotation is anti-clockwise. So this picture in this image you can understand. In the beginning it was cephalic and caudal. Now it has become right and left. That is the beginning of this 90-degree rotation in the physiological umbilical hernia. So the student should remember the first stage of 90-degree rotation of the midgut takes place outside the coelomic cavity, and it is in the physiological umbilical hernia. Now the second stage of rotation of the midgut loop. So in this second stage is happening when loop is returning to the abdomen. During this stage of the stay of 5 weeks, we have already seen that told that this right limb has undergone enormous elongation into series of coils, and the left limb is only presenting as a cecal bulge. So now the midgut loop is trying to go inside into the abdomen. So do you think which limb will go first? So the which limb will go first? If you see, the right limb is returning first. Right limb is going to give rise to mainly the small intestine. So that part is going to enter the first. The reason why it is told is, they are telling is, cecum is acting as if like a moderator. It is staying outside to see that every other parts are going inside, then it returns last. So now I think I am clear. The small intestine formed from the cranial limb is returning first. When it returns first, it passes posterior to the superior mesenteric artery, then occupies the central part of the abdomen. Then the large intestine returns. This large intestine, to reach its normal place, it has to rotate further 180 degree anti-clockwise. So how much degrees now the midgut loop has rotated? If you see, total of 270 degree anti-clockwise rotation, the large intestine has to rotate to reach its normal place. So what are the factors for the return? We told what are the factors for the physiological umbilical hernia is the progressive increase in the size of the liver and the mesonephric kidneys. Now why they are again returning? Whether the liver and kidneys have decreased in size? No. The increase in the size of the coelom allow the herniated part to re-enter from this umbilical coelom. Once it has come out, it can't be reduced as a whole. So the umbilical ring is too small, the intestinal loop has elongated much and bulky. So how it will return? There is a definite order of reduction. So the right limb will enter first. The bulky cecum will act as the neutral observer. The coils of small intestine will enter the abdomen first and try to occupy the right part of the abdominal cavity. Then it passes dorsal to the origin of the superior mesenteric artery and occupies the left parts of the abdominal cavity also. So the small intestine is entering first and it is occupying every place, right side, dorsal to the superior mesenteric artery and central part, and left side. Now the left limb of the midgut enters the last, and to its surprise, the abdomen is now flooded totally with the small intestinal coils. So it tries to settle in its place. This left limb is first trying to reach the left part of the abdomen, but again seeing the midgut, the remaining small intestine is already in the left part. The cecum and the associated colon rotates upwards and to the right around the axis of superior mesenteric artery. So now the second stage of rotation starts. They pass successively through the left iliac, umbilical and subhepatic regions, and so that the transverse colon will be formed. So this cecum has undergone total of 270-degree rotation anti-clockwise. So this is the second stage of rotation of the midgut. At the end of the 10th week, it happens. There is a sequential reduction of the physiological umbilical hernia, and at the end of this stage, if you see, the cecum reaches the subhepatic region. Third stage of rotation is the cecum and appendix should reach the right iliac fossa from the subhepatic region. So that is the third stage of the rotation. That is the complete now rotation, and if every parts of the small intestine and large intestine is occupying its normal adult position. The total range of the rotation by the cecum and appendix around the axis of superior mesenteric artery is now 270 degrees. The third stage is fixation. What is fixation? In the embryology, if you see fixation, any part of this gut is losing its mesentery, it will be called as fixation. So the remaining parts of the mesentery are lost except this transverse mesocolon and the mesentery of the small intestines. So this completes the rotation of the midgut, which is an interesting topic. So that the midgut is first as a straight tube, then forms the U-shaped loop, coming and staying in the extra-embryonic part for 5 weeks. In the extra-embryonic part, it undergoes 90-degree rotation anti-clockwise. At the end of the 10th week, it tries to enter the umbilical, it tries to enter the coelom, intra-embryonic coelom. And when it tries to enter the intra-embryonic coelom, first this right limb is entering, then the left limb is entering, and total of 270-degree rotation again happens at the last stage of this rotation. Fixation also occurs. What are the congenital abnormalities of the midgut? There may be many abnormalities in this process. In the first may be the non-rotation of the midgut. What is non-rotation? The cecum will be occupying the left iliac fossa. What is the malrotation of the midgut? This duodenum in relation to the superior mesenteric artery, it may be ventral to the superior mesenteric artery. There may be the defects of fixation. So the ascending colon may have the mesocolon, and the descending colon may be having the mesocolon. So that may be the defects of fixation, and sometimes persistent vitellointestinal duct. So this is the non-rotation, and this is the reversed rotation or malrotation. This will be the vitellointestinal duct abnormalities. Instead of it is undergoing total complete resorption, sometimes so many abnormalities may be present like this. So total communication of the small intestine to the umbilicus, that may be the vitelline fistula, vitelline cyst. Meckel's diverticum is the persistent proximal part of the vitellointestinal duct. One more abnormality of this midgut will be the omphaloceal. Omphaloceal is we told the midgut is staying in the extra embryonic coelom for 5 weeks from 5th to the 10th week, and it is returning at the end of the 10th week. But if it is not returning, so that the midgut loop will be lying outside this umbilical ring, and it will be covered by a layer of the amnion, that may be the congenital omphalocele. So we have finished this midgut rotation topic, which is an interesting topic, starting from this straight tube appearance of the midgut, then it is transforming into the U-shaped loop, and then we saw the physiological umbilical hernia. In this stage, first stage of rotation of 90-degree anti-clockwise has occurred. When it returns to the umbilical, through the umbilical ring into the abdomen, the remaining 180-degree anti-clockwise rotation has happened, so that total 270-degree rotation anti-clockwise of the midgut has happened, and in the last stage there will be the fixation of the mesentery of the midgut. And we saw the so many abnormalities in this midgut rotation may happen: malrotation, non-rotation, vitreointestinal duct abnormalities, or the total midgut loop lying outside. I think the students have understood this topic. So we have finished in this class midgut. We will continue with the hindgut development in the next class.